Hey everybody, it's Victoria Marie. I'm back with another Scraptastic design team layout. I teamed up with my fellow design team member Alex, and we use this inspiration piece as inspiration for our layouts this week. As you can see, those die cut numbers that are raised gives a really cool effect, and we decided to do something similar on our layout. However, I did a different take on this. I didn't die cut numbers, but I did want to create some texture in my background. So I'm going to scrapbook some photos of my little girl and I, and one night we were playing Princess Mermaid Sisters, and that required us to get ready to go to a party, and we had to wear our tiaras because we're princess mermaids. However, it was wintertime, according to my daughter, and so we had to wear our tiaras on the outside of our winter hats. So great adventures when you are a parent of a 6-year-old. So Princess Mermaid Sisters was lots of fun. So I want to scrapbook that and put that in her 6-year-old album. So I'm going to take a stencil, and this stencil comes with a Scraptastic kit. And by the way, I'm using the May 2016 Cake by the Ocean kit. And you get a free stencil for every 2 kits that you purchase. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my cutting knife, and I am cutting, or I'm scoring a little bit, I'm not cutting out the entire circle image, as you can see. I think those, well, maybe they're not circles. Maybe they look more like raindrops. But I'm scoring just half of it. And what I want to do is I want to pop up the cut part, and I'm going to put some color paper behind it so you can see a subtle hint of color in between the raised bits. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. So I reposition the stencil, and I'm doing some more cutting with my cutting knife. And this is just another way you can get some mileage out of your stencils. And the idea was just create a raised look. Now, I could have taken my die cutting machine like my Silhouette and could have cut out some numbers and did the whole thing that was like that on the inspiration piece. But I'm what's called lazy. And my Silhouette is not on my desk right now and not plugged into my computer. So maybe next time I'll try something like that. But I really want to use the stencil. So I'm going to reposition my photos, and I want to make sure I don't cover up a lot of those raised bits that I created. Now I'm taking my cutting knife and I'm popping those up. And again, I just only cut half of each of those little raindrop images. I think they look like raindrops to me. That's what I'm going to call them. So I'm looking around in the pattern papers that I have, and I think that one is from Pink Fresh Studio. I'm almost certain. It's sort of a, kind of gives a watercolor effect with lots of different hues of pink. And so I'm going to pop this up, and you're going to see just a little bit of that pink show through. And it's more visible when you see the layout in person. So I'm going to trim up my photo just a tiny, tiny bit. Both of the photos, and I discovered I'm not cutting straight because I never do that right. I'm going to get out my, my cutting tool there. And now I also want to back my photos with that pattern paper to have a little bit of the pink showing. Now, I don't normally go for pink, but my little girl loves pink, so I like using pink on her layouts. Then I'll take the other photo and do the same and back it on that pattern paper. And so with all those hues of pink, the mattes look really nice and varied in color, so I like that. Now I'm going to position the photos going vertically down the layout. Now this is an 8.5 by 11 layout, which I really like to do. I used to be exclusively 12 by 12, and not too long ago I started doing more 8.5 by 11s. So now I'm going to work on the title, and these sticker letters that you see, I believe, are from Pink Fresh Studio. And I thought I was going to put like Princess Mermaid Sisters, but the no, yeah, did I say Pink Fresh Studio? Yes, I did. Okay, so anyway, I thought I was going to put Princess Mermaids, and then I decided to go a different direction. My layout needed a little extra something, so on the reverse side of the pink paper that I used to map my photo is this floral pattern. So I decided to cut some triangles and put those on the opposite edge of the layout. I'm going to cut up this tag because I need a little bit of interest underneath the photo. And at this point, and I say this all the time, my layouts aren't really planned, so I just cut up stuff and I shop it around the page and see if it'll work. And then in a few, I'm going to do a little bit of stitching, which I hardly ever do. So I'm really, really excited to do that. I'm thinking I'm going to put this label that says Memories there at the top and staple it, and then I'm going to change my mind about this. I think I put it there simply just to use my new little stapler. Oh boy, we all know I'm cray. Okay, so I'm going to take some acrylic flowers, and this came in a die cut set of acrylic and die cut pieces from Pink Paisley from Paige Evans' Fancy Free collection. And I swear, by hell or high water, I'm going to get all of that collection somehow, some way. Some way. There's so many stores that are sold out. I'm going to get it. Maybe I should email Paige and be like, hey, can you hook a sister up? All right, so I'm going to put those acrylic flowers on either side there of my photo cluster. And that looks pretty. Then I'm going to add a couple of hearts from the same die cut set. I'm thinking I want to use that flare, but it ends up being a little bit too much on the page, so I abandoned that. Now I'm going to play with the title. So there's a die cut that says play, and I thought I would put play mermaid, but then that doesn't make sense. So I put happy mermaids, and that'll be my title because I couldn't think of anything else more creative than that. So that's okay, because we were playing Happy Mermaid Sisters. So there we go. Now, let's see. What I'm doing is I'm putting a foam square under the H in that word happy so it stands up and it's elevated to the same height of the photos. And then I'm thinking that I want to put something up there on the top right. So I put that heart there, but there's something else I feel that needs to go there too. So I'm thinking that flare, nope, it's too much. So I find this little banner and it says, I like your smile, which I think is perfect because my little girl has the best smile. She's just giggly and funny all the time. So that label that says memories, that's going to come off. So I'm going to peel up the stapler. Here I am popping up my little cuts that I made because I want that pink to show through. And I'm doing this, I'm kind of procrastinating because I don't know what I want to do next at this point. So I take the exclusive sticker sheet that came with the kit that's designed by Scraptastic, and I'm thinking I want to sprinkle these little plus signs on the layout. I want a little bit of yellow there. I find an arrow, and I want to put that by the title because pretty soon I'm going to put some journaling down. And then I take another little plus sign and put that there at the bottom. I just got into using these little plus signs. They became pretty popular with kids and such over the past year, so add something different to the layout. Now I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, and that is type my journaling, and I'm starting to get into that a lot more. I would really like to get a typewriter, but I don't have space for one right now. So I just used, typed up my journaling in Microsoft Word, and I'm going to cut up the strips and adhere that to the layout. And the journaling says, spending the evening playing Princess Mermaid Sisters during winter, in which we had to wear our tiaras over our winter caps. It's a thing. I love make-believe play with my little girl. It's just so much fun. And it's a great way to relax after a long day. So I'm going to lay those down, cut them out, lay them down using some tape adhesive. And I think that looks good. And now I need to stamp the date. And I somewhat messed this up. I want to stamp the date at the top. And I don't get it quite flush with the white textured cardstock. And so I figure, well, if it's messed up, let me stamp it like 10,000 more times. Because that makes it look better when you do that. Okay, so now I'm getting out my So Many, which drives me nuts, which is why I hardly ever use it. It might be me that I don't know how to thread a sewing machine very well. So it's probably user error. So I'm going to stitch a bit at each corner. One at the top left, one at the bottom right. I'm going to stitch over the title. And I'm going to cut up, trim up the threads there. And then use a bit of washi tape to make sure that they don't fray. And there we go. Finished layout. I think overall that turned out very cool. And another way to use your stencil and get some mileage. Alright guys, photos are coming up. I will see you next time.